As soon as you are doing well in life, you're eating well, you're eating nutritious, you're working out, maybe you're a bit more successful in your business, you're staying focused on what you need to be doing to ensure that the longevity of your own legacy is going to be ever increasing. And maybe you just want to live life. You're just feeling blessed to live in accordance to the grace of God Himself. And you are living from a place of peace. Watch how the Jezebel stalkers come out of the woodworks, lickety split. And it's almost going to be like your peace is going to be a warning sign for them to try to sabotage you. And make no mistake, if you do not fortify yourself in your own mind, the Jezebel stalkers will pursue and they will persist. And they will get angry if you do not fulfill their desires, because they're operating from the place of the construct, right? Like the reality of the construct of reality. Now, just because like these terms real and what is reality, because the thing is that especially with all of the email psyops and with Epstein stuff going on recently, they're all designed, like this whole thing with the Epstein stuff is designed to make you feel apathetic toward life so that they can just harvest your energy more easily. That's all that it is. And so when the Jezebel stalkers come from you, for you, and from your, like they're seeing you and they want to come for you because you're seeing through the BS of life. They're coming for you because you can think about the Jezebel spirit as an agent within the matrix, the construct. And if you are trying to feed into this matrix and into this construct without recognizing that you're trying to do so, that's when things are going to happen. But it's not always going to be because of malevolence. Okay, a lot of these Jezebel stalkers and a lot of these Jezebel spirits, if you're not familiar with the Jezebel spirit is essentially a spirit from the Bible where it's a woman who, she was the only one in the Bible, and as far as women go, to wear makeup. And she was very deceptive and killed the king and then made her husband do all kinds of crazy crap and all that stuff. Ahab. A lot of men have the Ahab spirit, you could say. Now, I'm not saying that it's, how do I talk about this appropriately? Because I don't want to be religious here. I don't want to be a religious channel. That's never been my aim. But as of late, I'm recognizing that a lot of Christians are just not ready for the place in which I'm going. And so if you're not ready for this, you're not ready for this. And that's okay. It's okay. But don't try to convince me that you're right about your perception of reality when you can't verify anything about your perception. Now look, if you experienced it, great, and that's fantastic. But don't try to force that on other people for no reason. Okay, that I've seen this time and time again recently, and I'm very pleased to say that I've also seen very level-headed, open-minded, conscientious, but not overly controlling people that are able to get what I'm saying here. Because when I speak about the Jezebel, I don't mean from a place of religiousness. When I speak about anything related to God, it's not from a place of religiousness. It's from a place of timelessness. And I'm orienting myself in time to move toward timelessness, but I already know that me as an interdimensional being, as a soul that is an immortal soul, I've already oriented myself from a place of timelessness to the best of my ability and will continue to do so. The thing is that a lot of people don't realize just how corrupt the matrix and whatever you want to call it, right? Like whatever, I'm just using that term because that's going to be what most people can understand. If I were to use my terms, they're going to be all new. and I'm going to have to explain all these terms, and I'm going to have to go through, but I don't even want to tell you guys everything that I know anymore. I used to come on here with my YouTube channel and such, and be like, oh, I want to share everything that I know, because I want to be able to share my soul. I want to be able to share everything about me, because I have nothing to hide, right? I have nothing to hide. I don't care. Like, of course, there's going to be things that are between me and God, but I just want to share my soul and my light. And I still want to do that, but I found that there are certain things that, like, for example, in my one-on-one sessions or in the Regal Change Academy group that we have, that's going to be a place where we go deeper into these kinds of topics, because I can only reach a certain amount of people before they recognize, like, because you want to make sure that there's a difference between the scrollers and the people that actually want to just get it. Like, they want to know. They want to live in the truth, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to do so. They want to seek the truth. Other people are not going to be able to get it. And so when you start seeing through the BS of the world, that's why the Jezebels are going to come for you. Now, the Jezebels, you can think about them as highly narcissistic spirits that want to corrupt men. That's the best way to non-religiously put it. And yet to give emphasis to the fact that there are these types of spirits out there. Perhaps I'm going to even do a video on the origin of demons and the dominion of demons, as well as angels, because I think that that's going to be important to understand if you really want to go deeper into this kind of stuff. Because the thing is that this reality is as strange as it seems, and if you get caught up in the day-to-day BS of what's new in the news, or what's new here, what's new there, you're gonna get apathetic. And that's exactly what they want. They want you to feel hopeless. They want you to feel helpless. And this is exactly what the Jezebel spirit wants. This is why they're an agent of the Matrix. Okay, I'm setting all this up as pre-background information so that you can understand why this happens. You can't just say, like, oh yeah, it's my sexuality and my urges. Like, yeah, you could say that, but is it the full truth? Is it the encapsulation of everything that's actually going on? No, not at all. Because it's not just that they want to take your energy through your life force. It's that they want to coerce you back into the construct. They want to make sure that you're going back into manufactured information. They do not want you to be free. They want you to live in fear. They want you to live from a place in which you have no alternative but to live from manufactured information-based data points so that you can operate within the confines of the construct of reality, so that you do not see the reality of the fabric, you see the fabric of reality. And I have to give that phrase, specific phrase, the reality of the fabric, not the fabric of reality, to someone in the Regal Change Academy, because he has talked about this quite a bit. And he's mentioned how people want to see and bend the fabric of reality, but they don't want to recognize that there's a reality of the fabric. There's a reality of the fabric in which there's a veil, and that veil of consciousness is very real. That veil of understanding why these Jezebels, for example, this is just an example, right? This is just what we're talking about in this video, but it happens and can happen with a multitude of things. So the whole message behind this is that the Jezebel stalkers come out to take your life force because you're reclaiming your life force. You're seeing through the BS. You're living healthier. You're living a more prophetic and fulfilling and professional and all this great stuff kind of life. You're actually being able to bear the fruit. You're not only able to see the fruit, but you're able to see the tree from which the fruit is being bore from. Is it bore or bared? Is it bore or bared? Well, anyway, the point is that you get the point. The point is that you can see not only the fruit, but you can also see the tree. Because a lot of people will have fruit, right? Like the Bible does say that judge them by their fruits. Well, the thing is that what if what if what if they got their fruits from the market, down the street, and they're claiming it to be theirs? What if they got their fruit by, I think that can only be taken, I know what it means, of course, but I think that you can't really take it to the level in which perhaps people want you to take that to, because it's just not possible. Because some people do lie about their fruit. Some people do lie about the things that they do and why they do it. These people do not have great insights. They need to stabilize their own ego through using you and making sure that you do not operate from a place of peace. If you're operating from a place of peace, that means that from the people who are still operating within manufactured information and constructs, your peace is now weaponized to their ego. And they don't like that. They don't like that you're seeing the reality for what it is, and they feel like you're seeing something more, and now you feel superior. It's not even that you feel superior, it's that you just are seeing things more clearly. And they, because they're still in ego land, they want to make sure that they're coercing and controlling you. Now, the Jezebel does this very efficiently because they're going to be very manipulative. They're going to be very conceited and deceitful in how they operate. The Jezebel spirit main weapon is psychological. It's all psychological warfare. And this is exactly what's going on in society right now. They want you to see all of the terribleness that is being done in reality and have you know that there is nothing you can do about it. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to know or believe, right? That they want you to feel like you know this, so that way you just give them their life, like your life force. People, I don't think people understand. They are literally siphoning off our energy. They are literally hijacking our energy because we are all connected. We are all very much so in this common realm together. And this is one consciousness. God himself is, like, you can't really define God because obviously that would be like how can you define in finite terms the undefinable and the infinite? I mean, you can't really. And so it's kind of like trying to conceptualize a 4-dimensional or 5-dimensional space to some degree as a 3-dimensional person, because we see the world through the third dimension, right? Like we operate in the third dimension. I believe that we are 4-dimensional or even 5-dimensional beings. And a lot of people will say, oh yeah, transcend to the 4D or the 5D, bro. Or like all these new agers will talk like this. They don't know what they're talking about exactly. I really don't think they do, because when you ask them, well, what exactly do you mean by 4D? What exactly do you mean by 5D? They just say gibberish. They don't actually know what they're saying. And they don't understand. And it's not to say that maybe some of the stuff they're saying isn't true. It's just that they don't know what they're talking about. It's kind of like people who quote scripture or quote like the Bible or the Quran. They're just regurgitating information. They're really good at regurgitating information, but they can't think. They don't know how to think. They just regurgitate. And some people are really good at that. And there's nothing wrong with being able to recall information. But if you're just regurgitating information, that's not going to be really good. And so you got to be very careful when the Jezebel does come for you, because I've seen this a lot recently. I've been leveling up and have had to make a lot of hard decisions recently, a lot of difficult decisions in ways in which I'm going to maneuver through the world and how I'm going to process this timeline that I'm on to ensure that the probability of more prosperous timelines is ever increasing. And the cost of being on future timelines and the ROI on future timelines is going to be the same or even greater with the ROI, because I simply cannot afford to be on timelines that cost me more than an ROI. Energetically, resourcefully, spiritually, no matter what way you look at it, I just cannot afford that anymore. And as soon as you start to set these boundaries for yourself and you start to grow as an individual, it's going to affect your business. It's going to affect the people that you attract. It's going to affect the job possibilities that you attract. You might get better opportunities now, but you also might get the Jezebels trying to steer you back. They're trying to lure you back into their web. They're like spiders, man. They are literally like black widows, just trying to lure you back for no real reason. And it's no real reason. They just want you to want them. They don't even realize themselves. The people who are possessed by the Jezebel spirit, I'm convinced they don't even recognize themselves what exactly is going on here. They don't recognize even why. Like, I've literally had women who shit test me, or they try to do certain things around me, and then they'll literally say, I don't know why I did that. Or they'll talk about how anxious they are, or they'll talk about how depressed they are, or how they need to make sure that they're managing their emotions and emotional health and all this stuff. And this is, a long time ago, but I still encounter some of these women sometimes. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is there anybody healthy? Are most people just pretending to be healthy? I suppose it's true, because based off of the statistics and the psychological literature, most people have insecure and unhealthy attachment styles, whether it's avoidant or clingy type of behaviors, or anxious attachments. Only about 25% of the population, according to the psychological literature, actually has these healthy types of attachment styles. And I see it more and more that it might be even less than that. It might be less, because I know I'm good, and I know where I'm heading, and I know where I'm going, and I know that it's not going to be necessarily the easiest of experiences, but it's going to be simple. You have to choose what kind of difficult path you want. And you can choose the difficult path of, when it comes to the Jezebels and such, you can choose the path of, well, how do I sleep with as many women as possible? Which I don't know why you would want to do that exactly. Like, I know why you would want to do that as a man, but sexual discipline is going to be paramount in the times to come, because it's like these women are going to get to a point to where the reason that they're stalking you, on one part, is because they want you to be back into the construct that the elites have made and all this stuff. But then on the other side, they, in their inner feminine psychological and psychophysiological organisms, they recognize that you're a man who's about his business. And so there's like an internal conflict happening, and they want you, but they don't want you, but they want you, but they don't want you. And so you're going to have to be able to discern what types of women are which types of women, because a woman who is a little bit obsessed with you is actually kind of healthy, in my opinion, because you ought to want a woman who wants you more than you want her as a man. The relationship is just simply going to be healthier that way. That's all that's just the way that it's going to be. And so you have to discern, what exactly do these women want from you? Why do they want it? And where do they want you to go? What are they trying to manipulate you into? If they're trying to manipulate you, which most of them are. Most women are trying to manipulate you. That's just the case. And you, if you believe in your heart that you're a good man, then your job is to make sure that the woman that is going to be with you, or that wants to be with you, is not going to take you being a good man for granted, and that she's going to abuse you because of the fact that you're a good man. Most promiscuous women do this. I would say all promiscuous women do this, but like generally speaking, promiscuous women do this. Of course, it's not 100%, but it's damn near 100% of promiscuous women will take advantage of good men because they're good men. They will abuse good men because they're good men. They don't know how to handle this. And I'm speaking from a place that is the reality of the fabric, not the fabric of reality. So, with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. Join the Regal Change Academy. We have the free tier as well as the premium tier, or sign up for a one-on-one session of mine or the Godlike Mastery Initiation Program. Just forewarning, the Godlike Mastery Initiation Program is not for everybody. It is for people who have the financial resources and the time to actually commit to themselves to this lifestyle transformation and this life transformation as a whole. It's about transformation and true transformation that sustains for indefinitely. So with all that being said, peace until next time.